All right, so let's get right into it. We're taking a classic, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but we're going to reframe it completely. I want you to think of this not as just some self-help book, but as the actual source code for a high-performance operating system, one that's designed specifically for the insane pressures that come with being a tech founder.
And let's just kick things off with a question that, should hit pretty close to home for anyone in the startup world. I mean, look at your calendar. It's packed, right? You're juggling 1,000 tasks. You are constantly busy. But here's the real question. Is any of it actually moving the needle? Are you being effective? Because believe me, there is a massive difference between the two.
Covey had a great name for this. He called it the activity trap. And in the startup world, this looks like spending months building some beautiful, complex feature only to find out your users never even wanted it. It's like you've been climbing this ladder, hustling like crazy, but you never stopped to check if the ladder was leaning against the right wall in the first place. All that motion, it's not the same as progress. So what is the root cause of this whole dilemma? Well, the core idea here is that your personal effectiveness, it runs on an operating system. And for most of us, that OS we're using, right out of the box, it is full of bugs. It's reactive, it gets distracted all the time, and it is terrible at prioritizing the right things. This slide really breaks down the whole problem. Covey points out there are 2 ways to operate. Over on the left, you've got the personality ethic. I want you to think of this as a bunch of buggy, surface-level apps, quick fixes, growth hacks, just managing your image. And then on the right, you have the character ethic. Now, this is the stable kernel of your operating system. It's built on solid principles, on integrity. It's the inside-out approach where all your real strength comes from. So to get from that buggy personality ethic to the stable character ethic, you need what's called a paradigm shift. And listen, this isn't about some small tweak or just trying harder. It's about fundamentally changing the lens you use to see your work, your team, and yourself. When you change how you see the problem, your behavior it changes automatically.
And that brings us right here to the framework for our big upgrade. The 7 habits are the roadmap, but look at the structure here. It's really important. It starts with you. That's the private victory. And only then does it move outward to working with other people in the public victory. The bottom line is, you have to stabilize your own kernel before you can even think about running complex applications with your team.
So, phase 1. This is all about self-mastery. This is the lonely but absolutely essential work of rewriting your own code before you try to lead a team or build a company. This is the journey from being dependent to being truly independent. And these first 3 habits are how you get it done. Habit 1, be proactive, is this huge realization that you are the programmer, not the program. You get to choose your response to bugs, to setbacks, to anything. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. Well, that's about defining your destination. It's basically writing the source code for your life and your company. And then habit 3, put first things first, that's all about execution. It's running the program day in and day out. And habit 3 is really powered by this matrix. Let's be honest, most founders live in quadrant I, urgent and important. It's constant firefighting mode. But the highly effective founders, they fiercely protect their time for quadrant 2, important but not urgent. This is where the real growth actually happens. So what's in quadrant 2? It's all the stuff that never feels like an emergency, but it's the stuff that completely determines your future success. We're talking about strategic planning, building genuine relationships with your team, exploring that wild new idea, or even just, taking care of your own health. These are the high-leverage activities that prevent future crises from ever happening. So the crucial point here is this. Once you've achieved that private victory, once you've rewritten your kernel to be proactive, to be mission-driven, and to be focused on what's truly important, only then are you actually ready for the next phase. And that next phase is the public victory. This is all about moving from independence to what Covey calls interdependence. The best way to think about these next 3 habits is like you're installing the network protocols that let you connect with others effectively and create massive value together. So habit 4 is think win-win. It's about coding for outcomes where absolutely everyone benefits. Your co-founders, your team, your customers. Then habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is your ultimate communication debugger. You have to listen deeply to diagnose the real problem before you jump in and prescribe a solution. And then there's habit 6, synergize. This is the magic of creative cooperation where the whole team's output is just so much greater than the sum of its parts.
And the goal of all this is interdependence. Now, this isn't weakness. It's not being needy. It's a strategic choice made by strong, independent people who know that the biggest challenges can only be solved as a we. It's really the paradigm of a high-functioning founding team.
But as we all know, an operating system doesn't just run forever on its own. It needs regular updates, it needs maintenance, it needs to be recharged. And that brings us to the final, all-encompassing habit. Habit 7 is sharpen the saw. Honestly, this is the habit that makes all the other ones possible. It's the discipline of renewing yourself across 4 key dimensions of your life. For a founder, this is your system for avoiding burnout and staying at the absolute top of your game. Covey tells this great fable about the goose that laid the golden eggs. Production, that's the golden eggs. That's shipping code, hitting your targets. But production capability, that's the goose. And the goose is you. It's your health, your mind, your relationships. If you sacrifice the goose for the eggs, pretty soon you're going to have neither. Sharpening the saw is all about taking care of the goose.
Okay, let's wrap this up with some final thoughts on shipping your new Founder OS.
Ultimately, this whole process of upgrading your internal operating system, it's a journey of discovery. It's not about trying to become someone else. It's about finally understanding who you are at your very core, and then building a system to operate from that place of real strength. So you've seen the architecture, the principles are clear, the framework is all laid out. The only question left is, are you ready to sit down and actually start writing the code?